Hi, welcome to the Lifestyle Herbalists, the podcast where holistic wellness meets everyday living. I'm your host, Dami Vaccaro. I'm a registered dental hygienist, a clinical herbalist, and a certified health coach.
And I'm your co-host, Sabrina Cooper, a registered dental hygienist with a bachelor's in oral health promotion, a certified culinary nutritionist and herbalist, and a mindfulness and mindful eating coach. Together, we explore the intersection of holistic health, herbal wisdom, and joyful living. From plant-powered remedies to kitchen medicine, mindful moments, and conversations that feed the soul, we're here to help you feel vibrant, grounded, and inspired in your daily life. So steep a cup of something soothing, settle in, and let's grow well together one episode at a time, bringing you a healthy dose of happiness. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Lifestyle Herbalists, a healthy dose of happiness. I'm Sabrina Cooper, registered dental hygienist with a bachelor's in oral health promotion, registered culinary nutritionist, herbalist, and mindful eating and mindfulness coach. Today we're talking about something that seems incredibly simple but has a profound impact on every aspect of our health: hydration. Most people think of hydration only when they're thirsty or spending a hot day outside, but hydration influences our mood, memory, concentration, digestion, circulation, detoxification, sleep, and even how resilient we are to stress. What if I told you that one of the most powerful things you could do today to improve your memory, mood, energy, digestion, and even your ability to handle stress wasn't another supplement, wasn't another diet, and didn't cost hundreds of dollars? What if it was simply drinking enough water? Not because someone told you to drink 8 glasses a day, but because every single thought you have, every heartbeat, every emotion you feel, and every breath you take depends on water. Today, we're diving into why hydration is one of the most overlooked pillars of health and why every sip matters. Our brains are nearly 75% water. Every thought and every emotion and every heartbeat, every nerve impulse depends on water. So today we'll explore why hydration matters far beyond quenching thirst, what dehydration actually does to your brain and nervous system, how neurons rely on water to communicate, signs you may be dehydrated before you even feel thirsty, easy ways to improve hydration, and cooling herbs that naturally support hydration during the warmer months. Let's dive in, literally. Imagine your body as a garden. I love using nature to explain how our bodies work. Imagine you've spent weeks planting a beautiful garden. You've chosen nutrient-rich soil, added the best compost, planted healthy seedlings, placed them in the perfect amount of sunlight. Now imagine never watering them. Would you blame the plants? Would you buy more fertilizer? Would you wonder why they weren't thriving? Of course not. You'd simply recognize that they needed water. Yet we often do exactly that to ourselves. We eat healthy foods, we take all the best supplements, exercise, practice mindfulness, and then go hours and hours without drinking water. Our bodies are no different than our gardens. Water is what allows everything else to do the work. When we think about nutrition, we often focus on protein, vitamins, minerals, or healthy fats. But water is actually our most essential nutrient. Without food, we can survive for weeks. Without water, only a few days. Every single cell in your body depends on water. It transports nutrients, removes waste, lubricates joints, regulates body temperature, supports digestion, keeps our skin healthy, produces saliva, maintains blood pressure, and most importantly, it allows our nervous system to function properly. Wow, that's quite the list. Your brain is basically floating. One of my favorite facts is that your brain literally floats in fluid. The fluid cushions it from injury and provides protection. But beyond that, your brain requires constant hydration to maintain electrical activity. Every thought you have is an electrical signal. Those signals travel between neurons. Neurons don't simply touch each other. They communicate across microscopic gaps called synapses using neurotransmitters. For this entire process to happen efficiently, The body's electrolyte balance and fluid levels have to remain stable. Even mild dehydration changes this environment. Your brain contains roughly 86 billion neurons. Picture each neuron as a musician in a massive orchestra. Every second they are sending messages to one another. Together they create your thoughts, your memories, your emotions, your creativity, your ability to move. Water is like the conductor, and without it, the orchestra begins to lose rhythm. Communication slows, the music becomes chaotic, the performance suffers. That's exactly what happens when dehydration begins. It's just like another analogy. Imagine trying to send an email with poor internet service. And we all can't stand that, can we? The message still gets there, but it's slower, less reliable, sometimes interrupted, and that's what dehydration can do inside your nervous system. When you're dehydrated, blood volume decreases. Blood becomes thicker. The heart works harder. Less oxygen and nutrients reach the brain efficiently. Communication between neurons becomes less effective. Your brain actually has to work harder to perform simpler tasks. Research shows that losing as little as 1 to 2% of your body water can impair attention, concentration, memory, reaction time, decision making, and many people assume they're just tired or stressed or distracted. Sometimes they're just simply dehydrated. When your body senses dehydration, it activates stress hormones. One of these is cortisol. Why? Because dehydration is perceived as a threat. The body wants to preserve blood pressure and circulation. So, stress hormones rise. This means dehydration doesn't affect the body. It affects how safe your nervous system feels. And this is one reason people often become irritable, anxious, short-tempered, mentally fatigued, foggy, all from simply something as called drinking not enough water. Have you ever wondered why what your brain does while you're asleep? It doesn't simply shut off. It actually begins cleaning itself. Scientists call this the lymphatic system. Think of it as your brain's overnight housekeeping crew. While you sleep, cerebrospinal fluid gently washes through brain tissue, clearing away metabolic waste that accumulates through the day. Hydration helps support this remarkable process. Sleep restores. Water helps make restoration possible. 2 simple habits, 1 incredible partnership. One of the biggest myths is that hydration only means drinking water. Hydration is actually about fluid balance. Think of your cells like tiny balloons. Water needs minerals to move into the cell. Without enough sodium, potassium, magnesium, and other electrolytes, you may drink plenty, yet you're still not hydrating effectively. This is why athletes, outdoor workers, and anyone sweating heavily benefit from replacing both water and minerals. So what are some signs that you may be dehydrated? Many people wait until they're thirsty, but thirsty is actually a late sign. Earlier clues include brain fog, dry mouth, fatigue, constipation, dizziness when standing, dark urine, muscle cramps, dry skin, sugar cravings, difficulty concentrating, afternoon energy crashes, and sometimes what feels like hunger is actually thirst. I'm sure many of us have felt these from time to time, and all we need to is replenish our water and make sure we're staying hydrated. And many headaches begin with dehydration. The brain doesn't actually feel pain, but the tissues surrounding it do. When hydration drops, blood vessels change, tissues become more sensitive, and headaches can develop. Before reaching for another coffee or pain reliever, try drinking water with a pinch of mineral-rich sea salt or electrolyte source. Sometimes the body is asking for minerals as much as water. Your digestive system also depends on water. Saliva begins digestion. Stomach acid needs adequate fluid production. Digestive enzymes function in a watery environment. The intestines absorb nutrients through water. Without enough hydration, constipation becomes more common. Nutrients aren't absorbed as efficiently. wastes move more slowly, and even our beneficial gut bacteria function better in a well-hydrated environment. As a dental hygienist, I can't talk about hydration without talking about saliva. Because saliva isn't just water, it's one of the body's greatest protective fluids. It neutralizes acids, carries minerals that help repair enamel, controls harmful bacteria, protects your gums, helps you taste your food, begins digestion before food even reaches your stomach. And when you're dehydrated, the saliva production decreases. That's why dry mouth often leads to bad breath, cavities, gum inflammation, and difficulty swallowing. Sometimes your mouth is the very first place to tell you that your body needs more water. Summer heat places additional stress on the body. In herbal traditions around the world, certain herbs are considered cooling, not because they lower body temperature like ice, but because they help the body regulate heat more comfortably. So let's talk about my favorites. And the reason I want to talk about these is because as much as they're going to be cooling you down, if you add them to water, you're going to also be able to rehydrate as well. So there's a double benefit in these herbs. Like hibiscus, for example. It's bright ruby red and it's deliciously tart. It's rich in antioxidants. It makes a refreshing iced tea and has traditionally been used to cool body in hot climates. It's naturally caffeine-free and it's so refreshing. Peppermint. Then there's peppermint. Peppermint contains menthol. Menthol activates cold receptors in the mouth. Even though it doesn't actually lower body temperature dramatically, it creates a cooling sensation that feels incredibly refreshing, and it's perfect in iced herbal tea. Another one of my favorite herbs is lemon balm. It's gentle, calming, cooling, and it supports the nervous system while providing a light citrus flavor. It's so refreshing on those hot summer days just to cool you down a little bit and give you that little bit of calm on those stressful days that you've just been busy all day, and you can sit down with this nice herbed tea. It's wonderful. And then there's chamomile, which isn't just for bedtime. It gently relaxes the digestive system, helps soothe inflammation, and supports hydration. So it really makes an excellent cold infusion. Spearmint, softer than peppermint, naturally cooling, wonderful for digestion, and refreshing with cucumber or citrus added to your glass. And of course, there's rose petals, which are surprisingly cooling. Their floral aroma has a calming effect on the nervous system, and combined with hibiscus makes an absolutely delicious summer tea. And the best way to use these herbs is either fresh from the garden, or you can use dried herbs. And the way I like to do it is add the herbs to some water in a little jar or a container and put them in the window and do like a summer tea, and you'll just infuse it, and it's called sun tea, and it's just delicious. And like within an hour, you'll have this beautiful tea. You can add ice to it and drink it and stay hydrated. And don't, just stick to the waters. Foods can also be hydrating. Hydration doesn't only come from beverages. Many fruits and vegetables contain over 90% water. Think about watermelon, cucumber, celery, strawberries, tomatoes, lettuce, peaches, oranges, and zucchini, just to name a few. These foods also contain vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants that support cellular hydration. Nature packages hydration beautifully. So let's make hydration realistic. What are easy ways to stay hydrated? Try these habits. Start your morning with a glass of water before coffee or a caffeinated tea. Carry a reusable water bottle. Add lemon, cucumber, berries, or fresh herbs to it. Drink herbal iced teas. Eat water-rich fruits and vegetables. Replace electrolytes after heavy sweating. Sip consistently rather than drinking huge amounts all at once. Also take note of your urine color. It should generally be pale yellow, not dark yellow. Set reminders if you often forget. There are some great apps out there that you can remind, or just set a timer for every so often that you'll take in some water. And don't wait until you're thirsty, because that's already too late. Some things to think about. Your brain is 75% water. Even a 1 to 2% loss of body water can measurably affect attention, memory, and mood. The average adult has about 37 trillion cells, and every one depends on water to transport nutrients, remove waste, and carry out essential chemical reactions. Your blood is over 50% plasma, and plasma is mostly water. So as dehydration progresses, blood volume decreases, making the heart work harder to deliver oxygen and nutrients, including to your brain. Humans lose water constantly through breathing, sweating, urination, and even talking, which is why hydration is an ongoing process. Rather than something you can catch up on all at once, do it in little bits at a time. So here's a mindful hydration practice. Let's finish with something simple. The next time you reach for your water, pause, take one slow breath, look at the glass or bottle, and remember that every sip is nourishing trillions of cells in your body. Imagine that the water is moving through your body, hydrating your brain, supporting your heart, bathing your nervous system, helping your kidneys, supporting digestion, cooling inflammation, and sometimes wellness isn't about adding something complicated. Sometimes it's simply remembering to honor what our bodies have needed all along. Water is one of the most simplest forms of self-care, yet is often the one we overlook the most. When we nourish our hydration, we're supporting clearer thinking, calmer moods, healthier digestion, stronger circulation, better energy, and a nervous system that can respond to life with greater resilience. This week, I invite you to notice how you feel when you're intentionally hydrated. Pay attention to your focus, your energy, your mood, and you might be surprised how much changes with something so beautifully simple. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. If you enjoyed today's podcast, please share it with someone who could use the reminder to drink a little more water. Until next time, remember that health doesn't have to be complicated. Often it's found in the small choices we make every single day. Take care, stay hydrated, and keep finding your own healthy dose of happiness.